Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 25 of the February daily draws. So let's see what message we get today. And I'll be taking the first card from the Gilded Tarot Royale, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Imbolc Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. We have the Eight of Swords again. This came out before. In fact, let me get my notepad where my journal with all the things, and I think we've had it twice. Yes, we've had it twice already. We had a string of eights, didn't we? We had Eight of Swords, Eight of Cups, then we had the Knight of Wands, and then we had the Eight of Wands, and then the Eight of Swords again. So this is the third time. In fact, we had an Eight of Wands a couple of days ago. So eights have been very much the number of the month so far. Only a few more days left in the month, and of course I will be doing a review as usual. But getting back to today, we have the Eight of Swords, which is all about limitations and restrictions. How are we doing with those? Are we beginning to realize that we're not as restricted or limited as we first thought? Are we beginning to see that we maybe what we thought where we were trapped and we couldn't move much? Are we beginning to see that we have a bit more freedom than we first thought? Or are we still feeling limited? Are we still feeling those restrictions? Have we maybe thrown off a few restrictions, but others have sort of fallen into place in their, instead? Have we just replaced some with some more? Did we make a bit of progress? And now we're feeling, we're doubting that progress. We're sort of, our thoughts are beginning to limit us again, restrict us, pen us in, but getting thoughts, ideas, things coming at us, words, things are coming into our minds and coming at us in life that we feel penned in again. The message is still the same. Yes, your perception is real in the sense of it may not be a true perception of what your circumstance actually is. The way you perceive it may not be the true way that it is, but it's true for you while you perceive it that way. So it's real in the sense you genuinely feel, you're not making it up. You're not conjuring up feelings out of nowhere. You genuinely do feel restricted and limited. Whether or not that's the case or not, it's how you genuinely feel. And sometimes we can genuinely feel like that. It doesn't have to be based on any factual stuff, but if that perception is there and it's the way we feel, then that is the reality at the moment. But it doesn't have to be our permanent reality. That's the message of the Eight of Swords. It's coming today is that despite your current perception or feelings or thinking, it doesn't have to stay that way. By all means, acknowledge that's the way you're feeling. Be honest with yourself, but realize that nothing is as it seems with this. We can't see clearly enough. about what our true position is. We're sort of clouded, we're blinded to the reality or the truth of not just the situation, but of who we are in the situation. And I think what this Eight of Wands says to us, particularly today, I feel, it's not necessarily about your circumstances. That this card is coming to try and shift your perception. It's not so much the circumstances you are in. It's more of a revelation and awareness of who you are in those circumstances. Where we may not feel that we are up to dealing with the challenges that we face, the tasks we need to fulfill. But the truth of the matter is we're probably more capable than we imagine ourselves to be. And this is what the Eight of Swords is coming to remind us of, and to probably insist upon that we really get to grips with this realization that the truth of the matter is, in this situation, we're not as powerless or as limited as we feel or perceive. Does it mean it's going to be easier than, it's going to be easy? There still can be challenges. It can be a struggle. We're not going to get everything we want necessarily, but we're going to come out of it better than we first thought we could. We are more capable, more powerful in ourselves once we realize it than we can imagine sometimes. We're capable of more than what we think. If we would just shift our perception and begin to believe in our capabilities and in that inner reserve of strength, resilience, and inner wisdom that we've gained throughout the years of experience, and to follow that intuitive voice once again that would guide us through and open our eyes to who we are and what we're truly capable of, despite what we've led ourselves to believe, what other people have led us to believe. No, we need to dispel some of those myths, those legends that have been falsely given to us by ourselves or by others or by circumstance, and challenge those and begin to move out from where we feel where we're penned in. Let's push against those barriers that we perceive, and maybe as we do that, we'll realize that those barriers, one may not actually be there in reality. They may just be in our minds, or even if they're there, they're not as strong and are not as we think, and are not able to withstand a bit of resisting, a bit of pushing. And soon as we do that more and more, we'll begin to experience greater freedom and more confidence in our abilities. And the more we do that, the stronger we become, and the perception changes. And it's like a cycle of dealing with those limiting concepts and ideas that have held us in, and we can break free of them. And that is the message of the Eight of Swords. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Garlic protection, energy protection, if part of our spiritual path involves any form of spiritual protection, now might be a good time to invoke it. It is unwise to walk beyond the boundaries you have yet to expand on. So that's about boundaries and limitations, but those are sensible boundaries rather than restricting boundaries. They are God. There's a difference here. This is about boundaries, isn't it? Pushing beyond the boundaries. The key, I think we had this before with the Eight of Swords. Just having a quick look. I could have swore blind we've had garlic, but not with the one I thought. But it is about boundaries. It's about protecting ourselves. But there's a difference between safeguards that protect us and barriers that hold us back. Push through the barriers, push the boundaries. You can't walk beyond them until you've pushed them. You can't walk beyond where they are now until you've perhaps pushed the boundaries out a bit through effort, through work, through dealing with, energetically with what you're dealing with. And that expands your boundaries and your horizons, and then you're more capable. You find you're more capable than what you were before. So you're expanding your boundaries. You're not necessarily walking beyond them. But the main message here is don't think you need to be restricted to where you are now. You can break free of that. You just need to start realizing it. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 26. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.